You stick with it, you keep practicing, and you see results.
All right, Lucy and I are here at the grocery store. We are going to get our ingredients for anti-inflammatory meal prep.
2 miles down. That's all I have to say. It's super hot. I'm super tired. Let's do it.
Hey guys, welcome back to Stage 4 Thriver, where we embrace the integrative approach to healing chronic disease. What are 3 mindset tools that you need to recover from cancer? Today I'm going to share them with you, and I think you might be surprised. I do believe that the things I'm going to talk about today are critical to healing, but it's mostly based on my own personal experience. So here are 3 mindset tools that you need to recover from cancer. Number 1, a sense of urgency. When people are considering the holistic healing approach, I have often heard the advice, you have time. I think that this comes from a place of encouragement, wanting to let people know that they don't have to feel rushed into conventional treatment right away. When we get a cancer diagnosis, there are usually a lot of voices talking to us, telling us that we need to start treatment right away. We can often feel very, very rushed. I do agree that nobody should feel rushed into making any major life decisions without having had the chance to review the information that's out there and to let everything sink in. However, the sense of urgency that I'm speaking of is not rushing to a call of action. It's really more about what comes after, the follow through. Let me explain. So tell me if you can relate to this scenario. You have a desire to start a new health routine. Maybe it's starting a new exercise program, or maybe you're going to try out a new way of eating. You think about it and you research it, and the desire is there. You're not quite sure how you're going to start, but you'll figure it out tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you'll figure it out tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow after that. Can anybody relate to this? Now, even though we can agree that addressing a serious health condition is not the same thing as joining a gym and going there consistently. However, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference. Our patterns of behavior that we've developed over time cannot differentiate between scenarios. And it can be a struggle to break those patterns of behavior regardless of our reason for doing so. What we are really addressing here is a spectrum of readiness to change and where we fall on that spectrum. This can also be explained as our personal stage of change. Everyone dwells in these stages, whether consciously or unconsciously, and we drift through them at various stages of our lives. These stages are here. Say hello to the trans-theoretical model of change. You guys ready to learn something today? So before we ever take action to change, we have to go through these other stages first in order to get there. They are called pre-contemplation, contemplation, and preparation. Starting with pre-contemplation, which is a stage where we may not even be aware that there's a problem to begin with, or we have no interest in changing the behavior. Addiction can be an example of this. Contemplation and preparation are stages where we might want to change or realize that a change is necessary, but for whatever reason, there's been a failure to launch. We got the gym membership, but for some reason we aren't going. We know that we should be going to bed early, and yet there we are late at night, laying in bed, scrolling.
Guilty.
These stages are the ones where we really have to come face to face with our blocks, our barriers, our distractions, all the reasons why we are not getting to where we want to go. In these stages, we can identify them and we know them, but for whatever reason, we haven't quite overcome them yet. I feel like these stages are a very familiar place where we live with our plans and our dreams and our motivations, sometimes for years at a time. There is so much grace in that, guys. I am not here to make anyone feel bad about unfinished projects, dreams left on the shelf, or diets that fell off the rails. I'm the queen of that. I am here to give a loving, gentle, but firm nudge that when we are dealing with a serious diagnosis, we cannot continue to walk down these familiar paths of behavior. We must rise above them. We need to shift from that stage of pre-contemplation, full throttle, into action. We have to conquer ambivalence. So when I say a sense of urgency, I am talking about creating new ways to relate to behavior change. Where we may have given ourselves the patience and the grace to work through things over a long period of time, with a serious health issue, we must bring urgency to the table. Now, knowledge is power here. Be aware of your own patterns of behavior. Do you often get stuck in the contemplation stage, dreaming about the ways that you want your life to change, but not really knowing how to get there? Well, first of all, you're not alone. But also, just being aware of this is going to help you rise above it. You're already one step there. You have to do whatever it takes to get you out of that stage and into action as quickly as possible. I got some tips for you. Number 1, re-engineer your environment. Create a space all around you that has reminders and cues about the new behavior that you want to work towards, and remove things that encourage the old behavior. Number 2, establish a support system. This could be connecting with people who want to be an accountability partner, or just letting your friends and family know that these are changes that you want to make so that they're aware of them and that they can support you in that endeavor. Number 3, identify barriers to change. There are so many barriers that can get in the way, whether it's scheduling conflicts or transportation or childcare or, I don't know, money. Money is always a barrier. I don't know why I didn't think of that one first. There's so many barriers, guys, to our goals, and we can get stuck with them. They can slow us down, but that's where a little bit of ingenuity and creativity can get around them. So I encourage you to identify them, maybe write them down, and then brainstorm of ways that you can work with those barriers, work around them. That's going to be one of the big things you have to do. Number 4, raise awareness through decisional balancing. So this is a tool that's often used in coaching sessions. It helps you see the pros and the cons to changing your behaviors or having them stay the same. As a gift to you guys today, I will link a free decisional balancing worksheet below. You're welcome. Number 5, focus on the positive outcomes of change. When we have an issue, that when you focus on the positive outcomes of behavior change, this will foster motivation and behavioral change within you more than if you focus on the negative aspects of not pursuing that behavior change. Does that make sense?
What?
So let's take smoking, for example. You could say that I want to quit smoking because smoking causes lung cancer, smoking causes emphysema, smoking is going to make me sick. Or you could say, I want to quit smoking because I will have a better lung capacity. I will be able to exercise longer and harder, and I will feel more vibrant and vital. Do you see the difference between focusing on the negative versus the positive? This is what you want to do. This is going to help you move that stage of change. Stop focusing on any of the negative outcomes that might happen if you don't change your behavior, and focus on all of the good things that will happen because you've changed that behavior. Good stuff. I'm going to talk about this more in just a minute too. That might sound like a lot of mumbo jumbo when I'm editing it later. I hope it doesn't. It does make sense. Promise. Okay, number 2, a willingness to change, aka become somebody else. So once you have a sense of urgency, the willingness to change comes right up behind it. I've had a bit of a motto develop over time for me that in order to beat cancer, you have to become someone else. I'm not saying that you're not perfect exactly as you are. Well, okay, no, I am saying that actually. You need to change. Listen, if you have a cancer diagnosis, I got a message for you. You are living in a body that is hospitable and conducive to cancer. Something's just not working. And in order to fix it, you have to become somebody else. Now, to clarify what I mean here, I mean that you have to change the physiological processes within your body. You have to change the terrain. This can look like a lot of things for different people, but I'm willing to hang my hat on 2 areas that I truly believe we have to focus on when healing cancer. And that is metabolism and the state of the nervous system. If you have a serious disease, I'm willing to bet that you have some kind of issue going on with your metabolism, or your nutritional profiles, and you're probably stressed out, like really stressed out. This is my opinion, obviously, so take it with a grain of salt. But I believe that the secret weapon to defeating cancer is changing the terrain of your body by addressing metabolic processes and activating the parasympathetic nervous system. When I was diagnosed at stage 4, I was probably in the worst shape of my life. I was carrying around a lot of extra weight. I was sedentary and I was completely stressed out. I realized that in order to be a person that doesn't have cancer, I had to learn how to live like one. I reached a critical turning point when I pursued 2 modalities that would have otherwise never ever been a preference or a choice: running and cold plunging. On top of the scientific data proving that these actions are health-promoting powerhouses, they personally tapped into an inner warrior spirit inside of me, because every day I had to overcome resistance in order to do them. I have a video all about my cold plunging journey that you can see here. Overcoming resistance and breaking barriers are effective ways to build new neural pathways, change habits, and literally become somebody else. So when I began to run and build mileage up over time, I would say to myself, someone who can run 3 miles is not dying of cancer.
Okay, 2 miles down in the books. Finished my 3-mile post, as you can tell. I ran the whole thing, barely walked at all, so I feel amazing. We gotta get these miles in, so I'm going for it.
With my breathwork exercises, I would affirm to myself that somebody who can hold their breath for 3 minutes is probably not dying of cancer. My personal recommendation to you is to take actions every single day that affirm your good health and that show you all of the things that are going right in your life right now. Not wrong. This is a shout out to the last point I made about how focusing on the positive fosters change more than being afraid of the negative. We are not changing because we are running away from disease. We are changing because we are running towards optimum health.
Wait, hold on. Back it up.
We are not changing because we are running away from disease. We are changing because we are running towards optimum health. This mindset change is going to do everything for you. It'll help you to change the terrain of your body and become somebody else. Cancer-free person. Combine your willingness to change with a positive focus on what you can do and see where that leads you. Number 3, commitment to the long game. This one is a consistent reminder to myself as much as it is to anybody else. For any of us who struggle with patience, we really just want to solve a problem and then move on to the next thing. One super inconvenient aspect of cancer is that, unlike other illnesses where you can take an antibiotic and then carry on with your life, it's chronic. It forces us to not only look at and change our behaviors, but to do so daily over the course of a long time.
All right, all done our shopping trip. That took a lot longer than we thought it was going to take, but we are all filled up on good, healthy ingredients. I was gonna prep tonight, but I'm really tired, so I think I'm just gonna wait and prep tomorrow. So, all right, great. Oh, you're gonna prep too tomorrow? Or are you just tired too?
I'm just tired too.
Yeah, we're tired.
Once you get the diagnosis, it really does feel like a lifelong sort of thing. And that can be super frustrating and exhausting and overwhelming. And there will be some days that you will wish more than anything that there was just like a cancer switch that you could just turn off even for a day, just to turn it all off just for a day. And you can't. Cancer is going to bring with it waves of anxiety that you're going to have to work through. I do think that having a full understanding of the reality that you're living in will help you. You need to know from square one that in order to recover from cancer, it's going to require patience and perseverance and commitment to the long game. And these changes, most of the time, they need to be permanent. We simply cannot go back to the way that things were before. I know how overwhelming that this can sound. So I would like to invite you to transmute that feeling into something else. I wonder if you could ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? What are all the ways that this new lifestyle will bring me joy? In what ways is this lifestyle actually easier than the way that I was living before? I encourage you to look for reasons why your new patterns of behavior will bring you peace, joy, wellness, and once they're integrated, why you wouldn't even be interested in going back to the way things were, because the way you're living now is just all around better. And once that's in place, we just take it day by day. We find the moments of growth, heightened awareness, beauty, truth, and gratitude. Those are not just feelings. They are nutrients that tend to the garden of positive change. Whew. All right, guys. Well, what do you think? How has your mindset changed since diagnosis? What are other mindset tools that you would recommend? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep thriving.